What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Got a real special one for you today. We're going to dive in and do some branding design, some branding concepts, different steps that we take to achieve our purpose. We're going to combine all that today. It's going to be short because each step has, the potential of a few days to a few weeks to accomplish. So keep that in mind. Don't think that, you can come to somebody and get all this, done like today. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes research, and it takes a strategy to be put in place. So most of this is done rather quickly. Started working on it probably this week. So it took me at least about a week just to come up with just this concept. So imagine like an actual project that you put money behind. It's going to take time. But I do want to show you examples of, what your steps should be and how you achieve your goals and what the results will look like for you. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to be working with a company called Prime Energy. And Prime Energy, just to give a quick backstory. So Prime Energy is a new energy drink. They want their products to be on the shelf, ready to go, but they want a strong branding message and image. They want to fill up a space that's rather crowded. Come on, just think of all the energy drinks that you see out there, Monster, Red Bull, the list goes on and on. But since they are new, that means that their name, doesn't necessarily carry that much weight. So these are things that we'll be battling as we're going into our branding design. But we're up for the challenge. So let's get into it. First, we're going to focus on our research. Now, a lot of people like to jump into concepts, designs. This is the patience part that you will have to exercise, just because research is very vital to how you move forward. Because if you just start creating stuff, then you'll never understand your audience, you'll never understand what they're even looking for or who you should be targeting, because people think that they go for a broad range of people, and it's like you're just throwing money in the air. But if I find a specific lane, it's like, okay, I can dedicate all my resources to that. And research sets you up for this. So one of the things that I like to do is research different companies that's already occupying this space and that's doing it very well. I like to see their failures, their successes, because it prevents us from, like I said, failing or, on a positive note, succeeding. So I want to see where they succeeded at and where they failed at. I found this article on bettermarketing.pub, and I'm going to go down to understanding Red Bull's positioning and target market. Red Bull's target market can be identified as young urban males that live on the edge or aspire to do so. They're also generally interested in extreme sports and challenging recreational activities. So this is who they're targeting right off the rip. And you can see it in their commercials, campaigns. Like, just really think about, what Red Bull's pushes and the different events that they sponsor and, who's associated with it. So we can see their positioning that they take, and we can see that, they've done this throughout the years to where they've established this name in the energy drink, community. So research and data that you collect isn't just, a bunch of stuff for you to compile. No, you have to convert the data. And what I mean by that is you have to understand, what is this data actually saying about your company, about the strategy you should make, about the designs that you should do. So you need to take this information that you get and you define what it means for that company. So let's go through and you'll see as we go along exactly what I mean. Some of the data says every day, 85% of people in the US consume at least one caffeinated drink. So what does this data mean? It means that this market is a consistent product in everyday life. So what I mean, you take the data that they give you and you convert it into, okay, you need to create a strategy that's marketed to a product that's in everyday life. So let's keep going. That's only some of the surface information that we've gathered. Like I said, I just wanted to keep this short, but there will be other information, other data that you collect along the way that you convert, and it helps you with your strategy going forward. So once you do your research, you can then start, messing around with designs and concepts, things like that. With our design, I took time and, grabbed a few elements from our logo designers, from our copywriters, different people that's on the team that compile to make this stuff move forward. But once again, it starts with research first before you start designing, because they're going to need that information. They're going to need to know what you stand for, what are your goals, what's the target audience. Because if they just start creating stuff and it's something that doesn't fit your message along the way, people are going to recognize that. And it's going to feel like a bunch of stuff just thrown together and not as a cohesive unit. As you can see, to the time, picked out some of the variation of colors that we'll be using. Make sure that you keep these things consistent, because like I said, once you start adding in different elements, unless you're well enough established like Coca-Cola, Sprite, Mountain Dew, where they, switch up the coloring of their bottles, unless you're that well established, it can confuse people and it can even turn people off from your product. So like I said, it took time to compile some elements. We got our colors, we have the different logos that we make. Make sure that your logo designer gives you different variations of the logo, but keep it consistent. And what I mean by that is, they can add like a main logo, an outline, a miniature version, one that has text in it. So just make sure that they have these different things so you can put them on different product or different advertising material. Another thing that we have is our text. I took the time and, put these things together to make sure that our title and our paragraphs run consistent across. And these are the different fonts that we'll be using along the way. Also took the time to hop into Photoshop and get different images that's going to promote our brand, to create these elements that's going to help us out along the way. So as you can see, not just using one element, not just taking a picture and just blowing it up and, hoping people get the message. No, actually taking different elements that we have from each category and combining them together, manipulating them. That way they create this whole new element for us. And it's going to go a long way, because people want to associate your brand with something. So don't just give them images. Give them, your images with a logo. Give them your images with some wording from you. Social media is very good with this, but if it's just a quick glance, we know how fast people can, switch up on us and go to something else and keep scrolling. So make sure that you're at every step implementing your messaging to people. Took some of the elements and I combined them together to make this really cool website for them. Like I said, keeps it consistent. It's an image that people already recognize, so they know what they're getting as soon as they go there. But if it's something that's, like I said, just rushed and crammed together, if your website is totally different from your designs and messaging, your audience can get turned off and go to something that's familiar and consistent with what they need. And also then stop there, since it's not a website, on its own, I can take it and use it in different motion elements. So you can see we took those elements and we created this new stunning visual that is able to use in, let's say, commercials, or they want to put it in an ad on social media. They can take the design elements that we already put in place in our design process, and now they're using it in various ways to keep up with their messaging, to keep up with content, to keep their audience fed and wanting to come back. So when they're in the store, oh, that's the energy drink that I saw on social media, let me try it. So guys, that is the Client Prime Energy. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope that you got somewhat of an understanding from this. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what things I may have skipped over or things that you don't understand. And, I'm always down to give information, always down to, have a discussion of what makes a better brand, and just how we move forward as designers and companies together so that we creating these amazing new products that, so many big companies are, in that space. And I just love to see it. I love to see new companies come in and, they get embraced and really listen to their audience. So like I said, leave questions, leave comments. Thank you guys for viewing. Hope that it helps out. Until next time, my name is Savaughn, right? This is Brander. Peace.